I'm pretty sure you'll think twice on that quote by Nido. It's a very strong Friday morning quote right there. You're welcome to the conversation showing on your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS Television. My name is Merciful Ajino. Do not forget we're reaching you from Nigeria's federal capital city, Abuja. Before we bring you the crux of the conversation, that is the big story, let me read you some happenings across Africa in the last 24 hours. And we begin with Tigray, where the United Nations on Monday started consultations in Sudan in efforts to salvage the country's move to democracy after a military coup. A formal complaint lodged by Tunisia's Football Federation about their game with Mali ending 13 seconds early was on Thursday, yesterday, dismissed by the Confederation of African Football, that is CAF. And now South Africa's Limpopo health minister is under backlash for her sex education message to girls during a visit to Gwaneni Secondary School in the township of Sekangapeng on Wednesday to mark the first day of the new academic year. It's that time where I say you have to take COVID-19 very seriously. Make sure that you're vaccinated. And I will bring you COVID-19 updates from across Africa. And after that, the big story. Yes, it's the conversation. You can be a part of our social media community. And how do you become part of it? You can follow us across all our social media platforms. That is at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook, and of course, Twitter. And our YouTube is right there for you to like and subscribe so you do not miss out on any of our content. It's the big story, the crux of the conversation, and this time our focus is on Nigerian policing system, state police effect on insecurity. In the studio with us this morning is Dr. Moses Paul, a public affairs analyst, of course. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
I guess I can say Happy New Year.
Oh, yes, I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. So continuously we have seen suggestions from some Nigerians that introducing state police into the Nigerian policing system is the best way to curb insecurity. What do you see of that?
Well, it's a symptom approach because essentially we're not dealing with the root causes, sadly. Yes, it can work, but it is going to be a window dressing, kind of a temporary issue. And the reason is simply because we have archaic men in leadership rather than statesmen. So, and where that is the case, we're just doing what you call the fire brigade approach, where we're not really addressing the root cause. And so when that becomes the bane of any people or society, it becomes very dangerous. And, simply put, it is not because the federal state or policing system cannot work. It is because there is no sincerity of leadership. There is no sincerity of purpose in dealing with the issues. And I might give you just a very quick example of something that happened back just in Lagos in the last week, where the Makoko community, this has been a case that has been in court for all this while, and it was ruled against, and that is why the federal police were sent. And then here you have the number one lead man coming in as the chief security officer, as against the ruling of a court. So in that case, you can imagine what will happen if we have state policing. It is just about self-indulgence and selfishness. And this is where it's very dangerous. But again, I would say that given the prevalent situation we have in our case in Nigeria, you could see clearly, because this is about something that has to do with the indigenous people, the threat of life of different various ethnic indigenous people. So in that case, a state police could work effectively, because it's about who you know and how you deal with your local people, But once that temporary situation is dealt with, then it introduces another thing altogether, because essentially at the root of the matter, there is no sincerity. There is no call to leadership to guide a people, to secure a people. And that is why we're even having the problem in the first place. So if you look at it, the law is made for the people, not the people for the law. So on one hand, I can say because of what is happening right now, make the state policing effective so that we can deal with what is on ground. But I know, and we know, that it is window dressing because that's not the root cause. On any given day, Nigeria still is a very small space to deal with as compared to China, America, and other places. So, I mean, if there is sincerity of purpose, what we have right now can do. But because that is not the case, then we would advocate for state policing.
I do know that people who have conversed for this state policing as something that would work for Nigeria do say that we have to talk about the numbers of people that we have, the availability of policemen. We did know the last election that happened last year, the last governorship election, and we saw the turnout of policemen, and we're like, oh, do we have this number of people? So that's it on the one hand. On the second hand, we had there was an interview with the President Muhammadu Buhari with a media organization, and he addressed the issue, and people needed him to talk and, you know, fingerprint state policing, but he did not. And people are saying there should be something, and they're saying to lead some other people are saying state police will lead to a situation in which two rival institutions, we have the federal government and the state. How do we come to balance it? Because you've said on one hand it's a solution. So how do we work? Do we just plan everything out?
It comes back to what I said again. We don't have leaders. We have, in Nigerian state today, we have politicians whose major concern is just the next election. We don't have leaders. We don't have people who are patriotic to Nigeria's cause. And this is why the polity has to be changed. And I will say it here. My president is archaic. He's not even in touch with reality. My president is still talking about grazing routes in 21st century. That is not only sinful, it's an aberration. It's a complete and it's a total, it's an annihilation from reality. But unfortunately, that is the man we have on the helms of the affairs, who you can see clearly, again, very parochial in nature, in defense of his people, not the Nigerian people. This is why and where it becomes really colossal and dangerous for Nigeria. If we have leaders in place, the federal state can work, the local policing can work. It has worked before, during the colonial era. It tells you that it can work. So what we don't have are leaders who are sincere to the cause of the Nigerian state.
Now we have less than 1 year before, you know, the elections next year in February, and people are saying leaders. You've spoken about sincerity of purpose, which is a good point. So what do we do going forward? Now we've had people who have, you know, voiced out and said they want to contest for the presidential seat. And now people are saying, yes, we have the Not Too Young to Rule bill, and we don't have people coming out. So in your take, where do we start from here? And secondly, who is this definition of a president that Nigeria needs at this point? What qualities should this person possess? Because you've spoken about our sitting president now, spoken about the leadership structure. So when you say the Nigerian president, what should this person you know talk about? What should he be about? What should she be about?
As it stands right now, the one thing that connects us, the thread that connects Nigeria, is one word: insecurity. If you're listening to me, if you're a Christian, your religion hasn't saved you. If you're a Muslim, your religion hasn't saved you. If you're rich or you're poor, your class hasn't saved you. As we speak right now, there are rich people in the bush and there are poor people in the bush who are taken by bandits and terrorists as we speak. Whether you're Yoruba, Idoma, Tiv, Igbo, regardless of your tribe, your ethnicity hasn't saved you. So back to your question and straight to the point. What we need right now to take us to the frontier of what we desire as a people is a leader that is way above board, way above ethnicity, way above religion, way above the class of the divide of a people. If you look around, it's not too hard to find amongst the people who are showing forth to lead and to take a leadership role in Nigeria. That's what we need right now. We need a leader that will close the gap of all the divides that we have. Buhari hasn't done much. What he's done is to divide. He's widening the gap of our ethnicity divide, of our religious divide, of the parochial and the class divide. What we need now is a leader that can bridge all this, because this is what connects us as a people. Insecurity.
All right, thank you so much. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
And thank you, viewers, for staying tuned to The Conversation. Don't forget, it comes your way every Mondays to Fridays, 11 a.m. And you can be a part of our social media community at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Your comments, concerns, contributions are welcome. My name is Merciful Ajinomo. Stay safe and see you on Monday.